All right, so it is Monday, October 6th, 2025, and I am down over 0.5% today when I was up over 1%, actually almost 3%. So I did hit a new high of 307K today, but then the market just started to give back a little bit of gains. The NASDAQ held up a little bit better today, up over 0.75%. And my Roth IRA, of course, is down over 0.6%, which is kind of disappointing only because if any of you guys have been my viewer for a while now, you'll know that I used to have AMDL, which is a leveraged position on AMD in my Roth IRA. And it was like by far my largest position. It was, I want to say like 80% of my Roth IRA. And the reason why I say it's disappointing is because it was up 50% today. This ETF, which is a 2x leveraged position on AMD, was up at one point over 75% in one day, which is insane because this is doubled where I finally just got out of my position in. So as you guys can see on September the 18th, unfortunately, I did sell my 100 shares of AMDL at $9.43. And basically today it is double that amount. So very unfortunate. If I had held on, my Roth IRA would actually be like well over $2,000 right now. But it is what it is. I did also have a big AMDL position in my E-Trade account. But what can you say? You know, you win some, you lose some, you miss out. It's whatever. I am happy though about my position in Chipotle, Sweet Green, Kava, REPX. I'm happy about it. I think CMG, Sweet Green, and Kava should be able to fill their gaps that they're at right now. If any of you guys don't know what I'm talking about, you can just go check my X account. And if we take a look at my portfolio today, most of my losses were from Robinhood and Nike. So Robinhood did go over $150 today, but then it gave up some of its gains. And to me, it is what it is. I'm happy that I'm at 300K, of course, but I also kind of want my covered calls to lose their value. And I would really like it if I could keep all of my 1,500 shares of Robinhood while collecting option premium. But of course, that's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, Robinhood either goes down so much to where my covered calls just don't matter at all, or it just keeps going up and literally all of my shares get called away. Obviously, I would prefer all of my shares to just get called away so I have big gains rather than big losses. But ideal situation to me personally would just be Robinhood hovering around here and then all of my covered calls just expiring worthless. But if we take a look at the gains today, Robinhood is down over 2%. Nike is down over 0.8%. Palantir still going up somehow. And of course, PayPal is up over 4% today, along with SoFi up almost 6%. And if we take a look at some of the things I've seen on my X today, of course, AMD announcing their partnership with OpenAI that completely just took the stock to the moon. And of course, unfortunately, I did miss out on the big gain, but it is what it is. We have this funny post I saw from GameStop. And honestly, I've been seeing, I haven't seen their numbers recently, but I think the last time I checked their numbers, they are somewhat healthy now financially. And it also seems like they've really been kicking it up with their marketing, with like how in touch they are, I guess you could say, with social media and just posting funny stuff like this on X just to get some attention, really interacting with the community and with social media. So I personally do not own any GameStop, but I might consider taking a look. And I mean, if we take a look at the GameStop chart right now, it has been consolidating for a very long time. I mean, it's been at 25 for as long as I can remember. Obviously, we have these smart money blocks right here to act as support. Obviously, it's not a guarantee. I mean, we have this tiny gap right here we might revisit for 23. But like I said, it looks like it's been consolidating for a while now. It did have a little breakout here, coming back to retest, it looks like. Possibly, GameStop could be a swing that I consider, but we'll see what I do with it. I did also see this post from SoFi Insider. Noto is on the front page of Wharton magazine. And I believe he also sent a letter to Trump. I did not read the letter. It's just something that I saw on X. We also have PayPal here, Alex Chris, announcing that they're going to have cash back for buy now, pay later. I think this was already a thing, but this could also be some sort of like holiday promotion that they're doing, because they already had buy now, pay later, and they've already had their 5% different category debit card, PayPal debit card. So I'm not really sure if this is something new or something that they're just trying to promote a lot more. But it's good to see that PayPal is trying to be a little bit more competitive there. We also have, of course, this news. Apparently, thousands of Robinhood users were unable to access their account after an outage due to the AMD surge. So I'm not really sure what that's about, but we did also have Robinhood come out say that a large number of Robinhood customers experienced a brief service interruption this morning, and it was fully resolved basically by 10 o'clock. And for anybody that wants to hate on Robinhood saying that this is going to be GameStop all over again, honestly, I've used tons of other brokerages in the past. Outages are just a normal thing, unfortunately. That's just the world that we live in. You know, most of our stock transactions are done through the internet digitally, right? So we have to deal with these outages sometimes, these maintenance. And it's not just Robinhood, Fidelity, E-Trade, Schwab. You know, they all have these maintenance periods. Obviously, it's very inconvenient whenever the market is open, but I don't think it's fair to fully blame Robinhood for this. And of course, this was the SoFi letter that I was talking about. So maybe that's bullish for SoFi. So now we finally get to your guys' comments on my previous videos, and we're going to start off with Rolando that decided to take the time to explain the difference between the NASDAQ Stock Exchange and QQQ, the ETF. So for any of you guys that didn't know that there was a NASDAQ Stock Exchange, like an actual publicly traded company, there you go. I mean, I appreciate it, Rolando. I don't know if you were trying to be condescending there or question my intelligence or whatever, but I appreciate you taking the time to explain to me what the difference between the NASDAQ and QQQ is. But anyways, we have Investing with Chris that says fire emoji. Okay. We have A Carl that says congratulations. That's awesome. I'm actively trading Robinhood options. It's been crazy. And congratulations to you if you've made any money. But you also said I started following you when you were way down, like 90K. I respect the fact that you keep putting out videos when a lot of other people went dark during that time and a lot of us were hurting. Keep it up. And yeah, I mean, honestly, I just do this because I enjoy it. You know, the stock market, trading stocks is just something that I'm into. So it doesn't really matter to me if stocks are up or down. I'm still going to be doing this. But we have Clayton that says Webull next. And no, I don't think Webull is next. We have Bossman that says that Roth IRA needs work. And yeah, no, I need to deposit a lot more into my Roth IRA. I know I've said before that I kind of wanted to keep it at just $1,000 deposited just to see how quickly I could multiply that 1,000. But I've thought it through, and I'm probably just going to use my Robinhood one with the 3% boost as like my actual retirement that I just keep depositing money into to get that boost. And then maybe I'll open another IRA somewhere else, like with SoFi, whatever, and just deposit my $1,000 there to do like the little $1,000 challenge with that. But we'll see where I go with that. We have Eglo that asks, how much margin are you using? And it's roughly like 69K right now. We have Flymaster that says, will you have to sell to pay your taxes this year? No. We have George Sanchez that says, what do you think of BMNR? I don't really know much about it. And I think I took a glance at the chart and I don't really like what I saw. So I'm just going to kind of avoid it. And it's like one of those weird crypto companies, I think. So I'm just going to avoid it altogether. We have Asuka that asks, what is your plan for PayPal? Do you plan to just continue to hold it until it finally goes up? And honestly, I do plan on continuing to hold PayPal. I think in the future, it will be a dividend paying stock and eventually it'll go up whenever that is. But yeah, I do think in the future, it will be a dividend paying stock. So hopefully that comes next year, 2026. We have My Pete, whatever your name is, says you are the resistance. Okay. We have Jason that says there's a crash every day like the one that happened in April or people panic sold. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Maybe you meant that people talk about a crash every day, which is true. And we have trade like Ace that says, hey, congrats. Hope to get there one day. Do you mainly just trade, or do you have other things aside from trading? I've been trying to make trading my only thing, but I keep getting confused and sticking to one thing instead of bouncing around. What did you do to get there? And honestly, there's nothing you can really do to like force trading and stocks to be like your main thing, unless you're just born rich or you already have a lot of money. Like obviously, if you have $1 million and you're able to trade in a way to consistently get 5% every single year, well then that's like 50K a year that you could consider your salary, right? But obviously, if you don't have a lot of money starting out, it's honestly best to just not really worry about it, if that makes any sense. Just keep being consistent and just like deposit money into your account, right? Keep making good investment decisions and just being responsible overall, and then let it naturally grow to that amount, if that makes any sense. So like for me, eventually when it gets to 1 million, it doesn't really feel like I tried, because I haven't been sweating every day trying to day trade options to hurry up and get to 1 million. I've just been kind of letting it happen, just trying to, I guess, do the best that I can. And the whole bouncing around thing, I don't really have to worry about it, because like I said, I just kind of enjoy doing this overall. It doesn't matter if stocks are up and down or sideways. I'm just always going to be doing this. I'm always going to be posting a video. So I don't really have to deal with the whole bouncing around thing. And usually that comes from you just trying to hurry up and make money, right? So whenever stocks aren't really doing it for you right now, you're just trying to look for something else. And then that results in you bouncing around to different hobbies. But like I said, I don't really have to worry about it, because I just enjoy doing this overall. So it doesn't really matter if stocks are up, down, sideways. I'm always going to be here posting videos. So, and since you're probably new, I'll just go ahead and show you, or give you like the brief rundown of what I give most new people that haven't watched my previous videos, where I go a little bit more in depth as to what happened throughout my trading journey, I guess you could say, my investing journey. So I started around 2019. Robinhood was like my first exposure to the stock market, right? I didn't know what stocks were before Robinhood. I didn't know what an ETF was or anything like that. I was completely financially illiterate. And then I slowly started to make gains, but it was mostly due to like the bull market overall. And obviously these percentages aren't really accurate, because throughout the years I've been depositing, of course, and the percentages change with your deposit amount, your total contributions, all that. But not to make it too complicated, I was slowly going up, but it was just because of the overall bull market in general. And then of course we had the 2022 bear market, where my account started to go back down and I was actually dipping into the negatives. So starting from 2019 all the way to 2023, I was actually starting to lose money on my all-time chart. So literally like over 3 years, it was just no gains, starting to lose money, right? Very discouraging. And I don't want to make it like overly dramatic and say that I was sad or whatever, but obviously, you know, if you go over 3 years with nothing to show for it, starting to lose money, and it's like, dang, you know, what am I doing wrong? But basically what I did was I just completely cut my losses. You know, once I started to see that I was dipping into the red, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna sell everything. I'm just gonna chill out for a little bit, like clear my head, really make smarter investing decisions. And we are in a bear market right now, so I'm just gonna make investments for the long term, right? Just buy stock in companies and don't worry about the whole option trading, you know, using margin, anything like that. I'm not gonna worry about complicating it too much. Leverage ETFs. I mean, even though leverage ETFs back during the bear market would have been nice, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to overly complicate it. I'm just going to start fresh. And that is when I made my big investment in Robinhood. Of course, I had Palantir as well. I bought some PayPal during this time as well. Obviously, PayPal hasn't done anything, but my other two stocks did, which resulted in this massive boom. So like I said, I just let it ride along with this bull market here. And then, of course, Robinhood had a huge breakout. It came back down to retest. So I was over, if we go back over here, so I was over 170K. And then we had that massive correction where I dipped into the 70s, right? So I lost almost 100 grand this past year, right? In 1 year, 2025, I lost almost six figures after hitting my six-figure milestone. And then I hit another milestone of 300K. So it's been a crazy year for me. So that's kind of what I was talking about in terms of bouncing around. That's kind of what I was doing here, right? I was bouncing around different strategies, trying to overly complicate it. And like I said, I didn't know what I was doing because I wasn't financially literate. But this bear market right here was when I said, you know what? I'm just going to start fresh. I'm just going to make some investments because it is a bear market and then just ride it out from here. And lucky for me, I picked Robinhood and Palantir. So